Selim, welcome to the Sumerian language mini lesson on the sounds of Sumerian. In this mini lesson, we'll learn what sounds make up the Sumerian language and how they can be put together into syllables. Before we start, one initial note. We don't know exactly how Sumerian was pronounced. Pretty much all of the information we have on how to pronounce Sumerian was written by people who spoke the Akkadian language. And so our view of Sumerian is colored by Akkadian, which we know a little bit more about. Therefore, you have a little bit of leeway in how you get to pronounce the Sumerian language, and there's no one around who can tell you that you're incorrect. So we're going to start with the vowels. Sumerian has 4 vowel sounds, a, e, and u, written a, e, I, u. There's no o sound in Sumerian. Sumerian has a number of consonants. A lot of these are relatively familiar to English speakers, things like b, da, ga, ka, pa, ta, ha, la, ma, na, sa, and za, all of which have equivalent letters in the English language. There are a few sounds which are a little bit more complicated. One of these is the sound written with the letter R. Because we don't know exactly how R sounded in Sumerian, you have a little bit of leeway. You may notice in other videos that I pronounce the R sound in a couple of different ways. Sometimes I pronounce it like the English language ra sound, and sometimes I pronounce it a little bit more like a Spanish ra sound. Because we don't know exactly how R was pronounced, you can pronounce the R sound however you like. There are 2 other sounds which in English equivalents would be written with 2 letters, but in Sumerian have only 1 sound. They operate as though they're 1 consonant. One of these is sh, which is like the English sound written sh, sh, and the other is ng. This is the hardest sound in Sumerian for English speakers because we're used to the ng sound only in the middle or the end of a word. So in a word like singing, you have the ng sound in the middle, singing, and at the end, singing. The ng sound can also appear in Sumerian at the beginning of words, like the beginning of the word ngai, meaning I. This sound is very common in Sumerian, and it's the hardest one for English speakers to get, so it's a good idea to practice pronouncing nga, nga, nga. Nga is made by holding the back of your tongue against the roof of your mouth, like you're saying a G sound, ga, ga, but instead holding it like you would an M sound, nga, nga, nga. Another way that Sumerian is different from English is in the way that sounds can be put together. So in English, you can have a bunch of consonants in a row in a word like strengths, strengths, where you get sa, ta, ra all in a row. This is not allowed in Sumerian. In Sumerian, there are 4 ways that a syllable can be formed. It can be just a vowel sound, like the word a means water. It can be a consonant and a vowel sound, like ga, ga, which means milk. It can be a vowel followed by a consonant sound, like the word al, which means a pickaxe. Or it can be a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, like gal, large, gal. Because you can string syllables together, you will sometimes find in Sumerian 2 consonants in a row with a vowel on either side. What you can't have is 2 consonants or more in a row at the start or end of a word, and you also can't have 3 or more consonants in a row anywhere. That's it for this lesson on the sounds of Sumerian. If you have any questions on how to pronounce Sumerian or different sounds, definitely leave them in the comments below. Selim!